everybody, and welcome to Coffee with Kenobi's Facebook Live every Monday night at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. I am your host, Dan Z. Excited to be here with you as we have a cup of coffee together and talk some Star Wars. It's very nice to see everybody, and happy Labor Day weekend. I hope everybody had a wonderful and restful vacation / holiday / I don't have to go to work on that day. Hopefully you're in that camp, but if not, I hope you're able to manage to get some rest. Anyway, I'm going to try to turn down some of the lighting here. It's pretty bright. Let's see what we can do. Very good. Hello, Killian. Cubby's had a good day finally, so I was glad to see that. 2.5 games back. Always a plus. Very, very good stuff. Let's see. There we go. Oh, that's a little bit better. A little bit better. One cool thing about this adventure in streaming is, well, learning all the ins and outs of how lighting works and all this stuff, so that's pretty good. We'll try to mess with that, and when my secret weapon, my son Peyton, comes home from college, he'll be able to help me with that for sure. So here we go. Chris is here, Colby's here, Killian is here, LJ is here, Eric is here, Tyler is here, Jim is back, Mary is here, Terry is here, Minta can't make it this week, but she'll be back next week, and Greg is here. Wonderful, wonderful. Yes, awesome. Good to see you, General Kenobi, indeed. All right, so fun show, of course. I'm sure many of you saw this was a pretty fun weekend here at the Coffee with Kenobi Studios. I got the Lego Razor Crest set that Mason and I have been working on feverishly over the past couple days. We're not finished with it yet, but when we are done, hello, Kato. Good to see you. Ross, good to see you as well. When we're done with the Lego, we're going to have Mason back on the show to talk about it, and we're going to premiere the video we've been making. We've been making a video of the actual build itself, not in real time, of course, but the why can't I think of the word? Is it fast motion? Why can't I think of it? Anyway, someone will put it down there like, oh yeah, of course. I keep thinking motion capture, but that's not it. No, it's fun. We've had a great time. It's a very challenging build. That's why I'm wearing my Mandalorian ILM shirt this week, because I wanted to support my Mandalorian love. Yeah, time lapse. Duh. Thank you, Colby. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. I did get a ruggable, Eric. We got 3 ruggables. We got one for my office, which is the one I put on everywhere, Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. Hello, Mason. Mason says hi. Mason is taking over the Coffee with Kenobi feed. Very good. Love you, buddy. Good to have you back on the show with us. Jim says that Lego looks amazing. My nephew is 4 years old and is just starting to get into Star Wars Legos. It's great. And wait till you see the child minifig of the Lego. It is the cutest thing ever. It's insane. So I got the Ruggable here in the studio, and then we got another one for Mason's room and one for our living room in the basement, and they are gorgeous. We're going to have some pictures up for that in the next couple of days. But if you haven't seen it, go to ruggable.com, look for their Star Wars collection, and my goodness, you will see a lot of great stuff. They are awesome. I really want to thank them again for their help and their generosity, and it was great. As you know, if you heard the show this week, it was a great show. We had a couple of good things. We had Clayton Sandell on, of course, to talk about special effects and the role of special effects and how they tell a story. That picture down there on the left, the first time I met Clayton, it was after it was during the solo premiere, and he and I got coffee and became fast friends. And then, of course, he's been on the show a number of times. And then that picture on the right is the rug that I now have in my office, right below my studio and the desk, and it's really, really slick, and they're washable, so they're very, very nice. Really, really great patterns, and I suggest you listen to the show, because not only is the conversation with Clayton great, but I get to talk to one of the lead designers of Ruggable, and she talks a lot about what went into these things, and it was great fun. It really, really was. So very good. All right, so what's brewing in the world of Star Wars this week? Let's find out. Take it away, Tom Kane.
And now, let's see what's brewing in the Star Wars universe this week.
I will never get over the joy of hearing him record that for us for Coffee with Kenobi. And when you listen to Coffee with Kenobi and you hear Yoda, voiced by Tom Kane, introducing Coffee with Kenobi with Dan Z, That was one of the biggest thrills I've ever had doing the show. So great. Very, very blessed. Clayton is very tall. It's true. I'm I'm probably 5'9", 5'10" on my best day, and he's taller than me. Yes, for sure, he is. So yes, Eric, you do need to get one of those. They are awesome. They've got a lot of different sizes as well. So the big news this week, in addition to wearing the shirt and talking about the Mandalorian Lego, is the news that we got to see the premiere, or not the premiere. We got to see that October 30th is when season 2 of the Mandalorian starts. Terry says he's waiting for that trailer. I am too. People are asking me, when is the trailer going to be? Do you have any idea? I really don't. I'm not sure. I mean, we're about 7 weeks out, I suppose. So I would imagine, well, I don't know. I would imagine soon, but you just really don't know. I mean, I trust that they'll put it out when it's time and ready to go. But just seeing that image was great of the logo. But this time, instead of just Din Djarin in the middle, the Mandalorian, the child and Din Djarin. So that's going to be fun. This is really, I feel like season 1 took us by storm and it was exploded. And then season 2, if it built on the hype and everybody follows over and we get some new viewers, boy, that's going to be something special for sure. So that's really the big news this week, I would say, for Star Wars. But I think what you're here for is you want to talk about our top 5. So I think it's time to jump into our top 5, which is our top 5 favorite Star Wars blasters. And actually, Mason, now that I think about it, buddy, you should type, have your mom help you type in what yours are, because we only got to do a couple of yours. So if you think of them, feel free to type them in. Tyler says, it'd be fine with no trailer. There's already tons of hype for the show. I agree. I'd be fine with no trailer at all. I'd rather just kind of be wowed by the actual thing itself. But we'll see. We shall see. So this week's top 5 is top 5 favorite Star Wars blasters. The reason we picked this one is we did Star Wars lightsaber hilts. We did, we've done a lot of different things, and blasters keep coming up because they're very unique. And I don't really think of blasters. Like I could see a hilt and tell you who belongs to that lightsaber. But blasters, I probably do reasonably well. I don't know. It was kind of an exercise in trying to prepare this list, trying to find names of some of these blasters because they all have in-universe names, of course. So let's get to it. My number 5 is the DC-17 hand blaster. Yes, Eric, they are so uncivilized, for sure. So the DC-17 hand blaster, if you're not sure what that is, there you go. These are Rex's blasters. These are Rex's blasters from Star Wars The Clone Wars. They have a very unique look to them. I don't often go for the two-handed situation for blasters, but he just sells it, and it makes it really cool and powerful. So that is my number 5. Greg's number 5 is the Scout Trooper Blaster. The accuracy noted in The Mandalorian knocked it down a couple spots. Well, that's true. That might be more the trooper than the blaster itself. And I was thinking about putting that one on there. So that would certainly be one that's in my honorable mentions, I would say. It's a good choice. What do other people have for their number 5? Mason, I know you had a number 5, and so go ahead and put that in there if you think of it. Ross says, LL30 Blaster Pistol Cad Bane carried 2 of them. That's a good one. I thought that would show up. Kato says number 5 is a Droid Army Blaster. I love the toy version. I like the plunkety sounds they make. Yeah, sounds are a big one, how the sound they click and things like that. Cameron's number 5 is Phasma. Alger's number 5 is E11, the classic Stormtrooper Blaster. Eric's number 5 is Padme's from the Phantom Menace. I love the old school science fiction look to them. That's a good choice. Yes, Mason here's on here. That's actually Mason saying that. And Mason says Boba Fett is his number 5. That is a great choice. Jim's number 5 is Zeb's bow rifle. Oh, why didn't I think of that? Just the sound of that. It's kind of like a higher pitched sort of a ting. The sound and design, which is the reason for all my picks. That's a great pick, Jim. I would have put that over there, maybe over Rex's, perhaps. Tyler says Django's blasters, such a cool Old West feel with them, especially the way he twirls them after shooting Coleman Trevor. Yeah, Django's are pretty cool. I have a feeling those will show up later on this list from one of our loyal watchers of Coffee with Kenobi Facebook Live. All right, very cool. Anybody else want to weigh in with their number 5? This is the time. Mary says Zeb's blaster / shocker. Yep, there's 2 for Zeb, both Mary and Jim. I love Zeb's. That's such a great choice. Very unique one as well. And it was one that Callis had for a short amount of time too. And then of course Callus and Zeb became friends. They became close, and they certainly had a rocky start. But that's kind of the beauty of Star Wars anyway, isn't it? The redemption story. Okay, so let's go to number 4. My number 4 is the DL-44 Blastech Heavy Blaster, which of course belongs to the one and only Han Solo. Captain of the Millennium Falcon, smuggler, scoundrel, you know him, you love him. But it's his classic blaster. I think the reason I picked this one is because of the Kenner life-size one that I have. Let me see if I can see. Yep, I'm going to go grab it. It's right on my shelf here. 1 second. Yeah, here it is. This is the classic Kenner DL-44 Blastech Heavy Blaster. It took C batteries. It took C batteries. So we bought C batteries recently, and there's like a little button here to push for like the way to make the sound happen. And it didn't work. I was really bummed. I mean, this thing is over 40 years old, so I wouldn't expect it was going to work. So that was unfortunate. But hey, it's still pretty fun. So I think this is the main inspiration for that. Plus, it's just great. Classic feel. A lot of great stuff with Han Solo doing it. Mason's number 4 is Phasmas. That's a good choice. Let me catch up here. We've got a lot. Number 4 for Eric is Ezra's staple gun blaster. I like how you describe that. That's great. Matthew agrees with Mary Zeb. Very good. Cameron's number 4 is Chewie. Chewie's bowcaster. Gosh, I didn't think about that. Top 5 wasn't fair for this either. Ross says Ezra Bridger's original lightsaber blaster hybrid. And Kato's number 4 is Princess Leia's blaster from A New Hope. I love the long barrel and slender design. That's a good choice. Mary also says Ezra's blaster lightsaber. I said Mason had Phasma for his 4. Jim's number 4 is also Han's DL-44. The sound had a great punch to it that gives it a Western cowboy feel. Greg says Chirrut's light bow. Such a cool weapon, and how he uses it to take down a TIE. Yes, I have the Rogue One visual guide open. Hey, that's smart, man. Use your resources. That's what I always tell my students. Chris says Relby K-23, the best spin guards. Ooh, that's a great deep cut. That's a great deep cut. LJ Souter, the Wester 35. I love the style and pre-Vizsla used them in Clone Wars. They got better when Sabine custom painted her own. He custom painted some toy Wester 35s for Liz when she did her Sabine cosplay, her first cosplay, so they have sentimental value. Oh, LJ, that's neat. That is a great call. And actually, when we were doing some research on that, Mason and I found those, and we're like, oh, those are cool. Tyler says Din Djarin's long rifle. I was so surprised when he dusted that Jawa. Yeah, that thing was really, really super powerful, for sure. I love it. Okay, that's number 4. Eric says Bosk's blaster rifle from the Empire action figure. It's like a sawed-off shotgun. Yeah, that one is unique. I don't think there's any blaster quite like that. And a lot of these are based on real weapons from World War II and sometimes other variants of weapons. I'm certainly no expert on weapons because I'm not a weapon person per se, but in the fictional universe, it is certainly fun. Okay, number 3. What did I pick for number 3? The Mandalorian's blaster pistol. Yes, this thing, I mean, it was hard to find a picture of this that didn't take up the entire screen for whatever reason. But we're not talking about the massive long rifle that Tyler just talked about. I'm talking about his handheld that very much looks like a legitimate cowboy Western blaster. And I think that's one of the reasons why I was sort of drawn to it. It's really, really cool. So that's the one I picked, the Mandalorian Din Djarin's handheld weapon. Eric's, already said Eric's. Number 3 for Cameron is DL-44, which is Solo's, of course. Jim's number 3 is the Mandalorian long rifle. Ross's is the E11 blaster rifle, Stormtrooper standard issue, what Leia used to escape the Death Star with Luke, absolutely. Mason's is the same as mine, the Mandalorian blaster. Great call, Mason. Good choice, buddy. You have good taste. Kato's number 3 is Rey's blaster that she gets from Han in The Force Awakens. Oh yeah, Mason was talking about that one. I like the little metal sounds it makes as being handled. It looks like this weird little hybrid sidearm made from spare parts. It really does. Mary's number 3 is Han's blaster. Chris's says, does the Jawa Ion blaster count? I mean, they did take down the Mandalorian too funny. Yeah, I'd say that counts. I would say that counts. Eric's number 3 is the classic E11 Stormtrooper blaster. That thing's coming up a lot. Greg says Chewbacca's bowcaster is so cool to see used in The Force Awakens. Yeah, and it really got a lot of play. Han Solo certainly got a big kick out of it. Literally and figuratively, I guess, with the kickback. Tyler's DC-15 clone rifle makes clones look even more battle-ready than they actually are. That's true. We've got LJ says the EE3, I really like using it when I use Boba Fett in Star Wars Battlefront. Oh, there you go. Matthew pulling a different one. He says thermal grenades. Nice. Very nice. Very good choice. All right, that is number 3. Interesting. All right, so we're down to our top 2 favorite Star Wars blasters. My number 2. Oh, Daniel says a Clone Trooper rocket launcher. Great choice, Daniel. My number 2 is Ezra Bridger's lightsaber. I really thought I was going to be the only one to pick that. Everyone was going to be like, "Oh, what a good idea, good choice." I didn't even think about that. But you're all over it, man. This thing is great. The staple gun thing, that was pretty clever. That was pretty clever, Eric. But yeah, it does kind of look like that. But it's a lightsaber, but also is a blaster, but only stuns, which I thought was great for Ezra's development because he was just a kid. When we took Mason to Disney World when I think he was 3 years old, we were going to build him a lightsaber in Tatooine Traders, but then we saw one of the cast members holding Ezra's, and I thought, oh, that's cool, so you could buy that. So we bought it for him, and he had the best time with that little thing. That was pretty fun. We still play with that. Chris number 2 is the E-Web. It's a heavy blaster, though. Yeah, that's a cool one, for sure. Cameron's is the Mando's long rifle. Jim's is Jango Fett's pistols. Mason says the Clone Troopers. Yep, good choice. Mason, you mean the clones or Rex? But either way, those are great choices. Mary says Mando's long rifle. That's getting a lot of play too. And Matthew says, I know the grenades aren't blasters, but still grenades are awesome. Yeah, they're fun and effective. Certainly effective in Star Wars Battlefront 2, that's for sure. Terry's says his Ezra blaster is his number 1. Tyler's number 2, Knights of Ren Curix blaster. I wish the Knights did more, but that is a mean-looking blaster. And Tyler, I can't even tell you off the top of my head what that one looks like. I'll have to look that one up. Ross says the Blastech SC-14 blaster. Jyn Erso gives to K2SO and Scarif, one of my favorite exchanges in all of Star Wars. Yeah, that's a fun power. That's symbolic too in that section as well of the film. Number 2 for Greg is Princess Leia's blaster. Great weapon. I've noticed it looks like Luke's ceremony weapon in A New Hope. Interesting. Number 2 for Eric is the Biker Scout pistol. That one really is great. LJ, the E85 blaster. Zori Bliss used them in The Rise of Skywalker. I thought it was cool how they looked like flint-lock pistols. Oh, that's interesting. Kato says Chewie's crossbow. Classic, great look, bringing that old-looking tech into a sci-fi film. And the knobs are a little like the old-school mad science from early cinema. Indeed. And Mason clarifies for us. I figured, buddy, that you wanted to say Rex, but I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew. Good, Captain Rex, number 2. And Matthew, Padme's pistols in her throne room. Isn't it cool that she just kind of pulls them out of her throne itself, and there they are in a little secret compartment? That's great. Okay, time for our number 1 top blaster in Star Wars. For me, it's the E11 blaster rifle. I'm sure you're noticing on these things, almost in any way, shape, or form, if my number 1 can be Stormtrooper related, it's going to be Stormtrooper related. It's not like I have a real affinity for them as characters. I mean, they're all pretty much the same to a degree as far as how they're portrayed in the original trilogy. But I just love the sound of the armor. I love that blaster. I love the clicking noise it makes when they're walking. It's just a great looking thing. It's just really cool. Daniel says the E11 blaster. Also, Cameron has a tie between Baze's in Rogue One and Ezra's blaster saber. That's cool. Eric's number 1 is Han's DL-44. I love how it sounds when they fire. It definitely packs a punch. Indeed. Jim's number 1 is Jyn Erso's A180 pistol. I've become so fond of it after having it as part of my Jyn Erso cosplay. Oh yeah, good, for sure. That makes sense. Greg also has the DL-44. So cool to see its configuration in Solo Star Wars story. I like that as well, Greg. That was fun. Tyler's number 1, Lando's silver blaster from Solo Rise of Skywalker. Smooth silver weapon for the smoothest dude in the galaxy. Mason's number 1, no surprise, Jango Fett's blasters. Great choice, Mason. Mason Z. Mary's Chewie's crossbow, best when Han borrows it in The Force Awakens. Ross had Han Solo's DL-44 heavy blaster, originally provided to him by Tobias Beckett, but part of so many iconic moments, for sure. LJ, also the DL-44. That thing is popular. It might be the one that showed up the most on the list. When I think of Star Wars blasters, I think of Han's DL-44 hanging on his hip. I do too. Kato also has Han Solo's blaster. I have that toy one from forever ago. I also have the Stormtrooper toy one from the first film. Oh, Kato, man. I'm jealous. That's the one. I had that one as a kid. I can't find it anywhere. I tried to find it on eBay, and it was either wasn't there or was insanely expensive, so I'm not going to do that. But someday, Kato, I'm going to find one of those too. Chris says, the DX-13 Aura singing at 2 triggers for some reason. Oh, I didn't know that. Interesting. There's so much to know. I hope there's a definitive book about blasters with images of them, like they're coming out with the lightsaber hilts definitive book very, very soon. And DK, if you're listening, I'm available to write it. Speaking of, well, before we get to the next section, I want to just bring up something really exciting that you all know about, and that is, sorry about that, the Star Wars book, available October 20th, 2020. I want to give a special shout out to Colby Mead. Literally at midnight when it turned September, he texted me, midnight my time, and said, hey, your book's coming out in 1 month. And I thought that was cool. Very, very, very much appreciate that, Colby. That was very thoughtful of you. But yeah, I'm very excited. The buzz is good. If you looked online this week in the CWK Cafe, which of course is our Facebook group where we have our little gang. We hang out, we have fun, we talk Star Wars in a family-friendly, spoiler-free place. But I put a link to DK's website because they had some great stuff. They had some pictures and some images from the layout of the book, so you got to see about 5 or 6 pages of it, and it was great. It was great. I mean, I've gotten to see an advanced copy. But to see it like that and be able to share it with people is exciting. Daniel, man, order that book, buddy. It's waiting for you. It's calling your name. Just like Luke's lightsaber called to Rey in Maz Kanata's castle. That book is calling to you, Daniel. So you need to get it, buddy, for sure. So that was great. That was great fun. I read Carrie's book right now, The Princess Diarist. How is that, Eric? I'm sure it's really, really good. I'm sure it's really good, for sure. All right, so let's do something fun. Let's go on. First, you probably want to know what next week's top 5 is going to be, so we should share that. Next week, we have top 5 helmets. So Mason helped me come up with this today. Blake's number 1, by the way. Ambin Phase Blaster, the Mando's Rifle. Nice. That one is one that's come up a lot, Blake, so for sure. And of course, Blake, I'm glad you bring that up, and that it's, of course, wonderful to have you here, my friend. But every week, if you miss it or you want to watch something again or you weren't sure what happened, you can watch these shows on Facebook, naturally, in the CWK Cafe, as well as Coffee with Kenobi's Facebook page. You can also watch them on Instagram and on our YouTube channel. We need lots of subscribers to get that up to 1,000. So please, if you haven't subscribed to us on YouTube, please go ahead and do that now. So Chris is excited, LJ is excited, and so is Daniel. Yeah, this is top 5 helmets. So I started to tell you, Mason said, why do we do helmets? Because it means stormtroopers, it means clones, it means First Order, it means bounty hunters, rebel pilots. I mean, their helmets are all over Star Wars. And so that's great. So it really covers a lot of stuff. Tyler digs it too. Eric says the Princess Diarist is great. That's good. I'm glad to hear that. I wish there were more helmets to choose from. Yeah, right. There are going to be so many. This is going to be really, really fun. Really, really challenging, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm certainly looking forward to it. All right, so let's go on to our next segment. We've been trying to throw in some. Oh, Blake's already got his number 1. Good. Kato likes it as well. Good. Well, Mason, good job, buddy. Good job picking that topic for next week. Top 5 Star Wars helmets. I mean, there are a lot to choose from. I'm just looking around my studio right now, and I'm thinking, what am I going to pick? Oof. Will stormtroopers make the cut? They usually do. Now, this is one, Jim, you can't pick Jim Urso for. So, Mason brings up the fact that Poe's helmet, that's a good choice too. Wow. See, all those X-Wing pilots, and it's going to be tough. Speaking of tough, We're going to do something we haven't done for a while. We did it early, kind of early in the summer, maybe, or maybe early when quarantine was really in full effect. But we're going to look at top five, not top five. We're going to play some Star Wars trivia. I've amassed a series of questions. Some of them are random, and we're just going to see how you do. We're going to see how you do. So, who's ready? Oh, he's already got one. Jim does have her Imperial disguise unscare. Fair enough, Jim. I need to be on top of it, my friend. Very good. All right. So Kato wants to weigh in on The Princess Diaries. He says it's a very good look into the personal story of Carrie Fisher making the film. She is a funny and real writer. She is hilarious. She was a script doctor for a long time in Hollywood. Not a lot of people know that, but she rewrote a lot of scripts in Hollywood because she has such a rapacious wit. All right. Question number 1. Who's ready? Raise your hand if you're ready. Who wants to play Star Wars Trivia? I don't see you in the back. I don't see your hand up. Greg, are you playing? Jim, Kato, Tyler, Chris, LJ, Daniel, everybody? Colby, you ready to do this? Let's see those hands up. Who wants to play some Star Wars Trivia? All right, Daniel's responding to something else, but I'm just going to pretend like his hand is up. I see lots of thumbs up. There we go. Eric's got his hand up. Let's do this. Oh, jinx. We had a jinx. All right. Question number 1. What member of the Jedi Council is piloting a fighter when he's shot down by his clone trooper? Any guesses? Nice, Chris. What member of the Jedi Council is piloting a fighter when he's shot down by his clone troopers? See lots of people raising their hand now, which I love. But let's see who knows. What member of the Jedi Council is piloting a fighter when he's shot down by his clone troopers? Eric says Plo Koon. Tyler says Plo Koon. Kato says the same. Ross, Plo, boom, boom. Yep, that's the answer. No one got that one wrong. That's good. And of course, I know none of you Googled it because that would be so uncivilized and very much like a Sith, and we're all Jedi here, of course. So we're going to be honest. All right, very good. Question number 2. Who conveys the message to the Jedi Council that Newt Gunray is behind the assassination attempts on Senator Amidala? Who conveys the message to the Jedi Council that Newt Gunray is behind the assassination attempt on Senator Amidala? Who is that indeed? Any ideas? These are from many of the movies. Even Mason's got that one too. My man, I'm so proud of you. Jim says it's Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Tyler says Valorum. Colby says Obi-Wan. So we've got 2 for Obi-Wan, 1 for Chancellor Valorum. I'll read the question again, then I'm going to give you the answer. Who conveys the message to the Jedi Council that Newt Gunray is behind the assassination attempt on Senator Amidala? The answer, and Ross has it too, it's Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's right. That's right. Sorry, Eric. I repeated 3 times, but I have to repeat it again. Well, I'll repeat the next one a little bit more. But it was who conveys the message to the Jedi Council that Newt Gunray is behind the assassination attempts on Senator Amidala. All right, next one. I feel like this one's kind of easy, but I don't know. We'll see. Who asks the Tidarium for its cargo and destination? Who asks the Tidarium for its cargo and destination? Who asks the Tidarium for its cargo and destination? I can't give you any hits. You're all Star Wars experts, so you don't need my help. You've got this down. Mason had the last one too. I knew you would. I knew Mason would. Let's see. Eric says Admiral Piet. Chris says Moff Jerjerrod. That's 2 answers so far. Anybody else? Who asks the Tidarium for its cargo and destination? I'll give you a hint. This is from a Star Wars movie. And that's the only hint I'm giving you. That's not really much of a hint, is it? All right. That one Empire guy. That's right, Tyler. Daniel says Tarkin. The answer, this is from Return of the Jedi. This is Admiral Piet. And then that's when Vader says, do they have a code clearance? And Piet says, it's an older code, sir, but it checks out. Yes. Interesting. Ross didn't know that one. That's like the first thing I've ever known Ross not to know. Oh, it's crazy. You are human after all, buddy. How about that? All right. Let's see. Oh, that's too easy, too. All right, here's one. Which... No, that's too easy. That's too easy. All right, let's go to another card here. Ooh. I'm trying to find one that's not insanely easy. What type of vehicle is used to shoot down the first Imperial Scout Walker on Endor? What type of vehicle is used to shoot down the first Imperial Scout Walker on Endor? Well, that's a fun one. Some of these I actually have to think about. What type of vehicle is used to shoot down the first Imperial Scout Walker on Endor? Any guesses? Is it a trick question? What type of vehicle is used to shoot down the first Imperial Scout Walker on Endor? That's right, the lightning round, all the points double. Blake says, wasn't it a snow speeder? Eric says, another Scout Walker. Again, what type of vehicle is used to shoot down the first Imperial Scout Walker on Endor? Jim is stumped on this one. I'm happy that I can stump everybody because it makes you think, and I think that's good. I think that's fun. Tyler says an ATST. Anybody want the answer? Raise your hand. Colby says an Ewok catapult. That was my first reaction, but it is, in fact, an ATST, the one that Chewbacca is. Yes, that's correct. Kato says an Ewok with wings. Not exactly. Not exactly. But I can see where you'd say that. It was an ATST. All right. Next question. Huh. Interesting. Okay. What species are the... I'll ask this one anyway, but it's pretty easy. Oh, Chris says an Ewok on the Segway. Yes, that would be an anachronism, but I like it. I like it. Very clever, Eric, Chris. All right. What species are the porcine guards who patrol Jabba's palace carrying crude vibro axes? And I may be pronouncing porcine wrong. It's Porcine. Porcine? Porcine? What species are the porcine guards who patrol Jabba's palace carrying crude vibro axes? Interesting. The way this question is worded is certainly interesting. Again, what species are the porcine guards who patrol Jabba's palace carrying crude vibro axes? Eric, Chris, Blake, Tyler all say Gamorrean guards. And Chris, don't worry about the spelling, man. Star Wars is tricky with that kind of stuff. Mason's got it too, and I think Mason, you may have spelled it right too. It is Gamorrean guards. I thought that one was... I thought you all might get that one. That was a good one. I thought maybe the porcine would throw everybody off. Okay. Which is Gamorrean a species? Well, according to this, I don't know. That's a good question. Porcine. Eric says porcine. Eric, I will take your word for it, my friend. Chris says R.I.P. to the one who got eaten for sure from the Rancor. All right. Which snowspeeder pilot has the call sign Rogue 3? No Googling or cheating. Just use the Force. Go with your gut. Which snowspeeder pilot has the call sign Rogue 3? I didn't know this one. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I didn't know this one. Which snowspeeder pilot has the call sign Rogue 3? Eric says Zev. Okay. Which snowspeeder pilot has the call sign Rogue 3? Chris says, I don't think it's Wedge. He thinks it's Jansen. Ross says it's Wedge. Jim says these are tough. Good. I'm glad that they're challenging. Kato says Wedge. So we've got 2 for Wedge, 1 for Jansen, 1 for Zev. Any other guesses? Which snowspeeder pilot has the call sign Rogue 3? This next one is really tough, but we'll get to that. All right, Tyler says Dak. The answer is Wedge Antilles. Wedge Antilles. That is the answer to that one. Not Hobby. Good guess, though. Good guess, though. Wedge and Dak are the only ones mentioned by name, but I don't know who it is. It's Wedge. It's definitely Wedge. All right, here's one I think is the toughest one. Ready? Which film title is spelled out in LEDs on the back of every clone trooper's helmet, even though it is too small to read on screen? Which film title is spelled out in LEDs on the back of every clone trooper's helmet, even though it was too small to read on screen? Wow. That's a little behind the scenes for you, ladies and gentlemen. Which film title is spelled out in LEDs on the back of every clone trooper's helmet, even though it is too small to read on screen? I wouldn't have guessed this either. Yeah, this is a thinking one. This is definitely a thinking one. Tyler's a good guess. He says THX1138. I'll read it again. Which film title is spelled out in LEDs on the back of every clone trooper's helmet, even though it is too small to read on screen? Blake has never heard of this. I never heard of it either, dude. Colby has no clue, but he can't wait to find out. Eric says Revenge of the Sith. That is another great guess. That is another great guess. So far we've got THX1138, and we've also got Revenge of the Sith. This is, I'm tempted to help, but I'm also tempted to trick you and throw you off. But, nah. Chris says Star Trek. Well, we can safely say that it's not Star Trek. Ross is stumped as well. Okay, I'll read it again, and then I'm going to give you the answer. Which film title is spelled out in LEDs on the back of every clone trooper's helmet, even though it is too small to read on screen? The answer is THX1138. So Jim was going to guess that. First person to say that was Tyler, I believe. So nice job, dude. That was good. That was a good guess. All right, Terry said ET, so not quite. Not quite. Okay. Here's another tricky one. Yeah, I assumed it was a Star Wars movie as well. Order 66. Ooh, interesting. Interesting, man. All right, here's the next question. Who is the first person in The Phantom Menace to utter, "May the Force be with you"? Who is the first person in The Phantom Menace to utter, "May the Force be with you"? Tyler, we believe you, buddy. I don't think you Googled it. No worries. So again, who's the first person in The Phantom Menace to utter, "May the Force be with you"? I gotta think about this. Mason, I know this is Mason's favorite Star Wars movie. Who is the first person in The Phantom Menace to utter, "May the Force be with you"? I was right. It was a guess, but I was right. The first person in The Phantom Menace to say, "May the Force be with you." Jim says Yoda. Dan says Qui-Gon. Colby says Qui-Gon. Eric says Mace Windu. Kato says Obi-Wan. Ross says Mace. Terry says Mace. Blake says Qui-Gon or Yoda. Tyler also says Yoda. Mason, do you have a guess? Who's the first person in The Phantom Menace to say, "May the Force be with you"? Now that I know who said it, Mason says Qui-Gon. Mason, dude, I am so proud of you yet again. It is Qui-Gon Jinn. It is Qui-Gon Jinn. Look at Mason going. I love it. I love it. All right, very good. These were all good guesses. And this was a hard one. That's why I picked it, because I know The Phantom Menace well, but not as well as I do the original trilogy. But I think it kind of depends, I think, when you were born, what your Star Wars is, which one you know the best. Well, maybe that's not true. Mary says Qui-Gon also. Very good, Mary. Nice job. All right, so let me see. Let's see. Oh. No, that's too easy. That's too easy also. Let's see. In how many systems does the enraged Mos Eisley Cantina patron claim to have a death sentence? I'll give you an easy one. In how many systems does the enraged Mos Eisley Cantina patron claim to have a death sentence? Mason, there you go, buddy. Ross says, way to go, and Blake says the force is strong with Mason tonight. Indeed. You should see the kid hit a baseball. Not like I'm a proud dad or anything. Jim says 12. Kato says 12. Tyler says 12. Eric says 12. Blake says 12. I'll just cut to it. Yeah, it's 12. It's definitely 12. Nice job, everybody. Well done. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. This one is, I guess, a 50-50 chance. Let me see. Here we go. Which separatist organization builds its battle droids in the Geonosian foundries? Yeah, man, you are welcome. Mason says thank you to everybody. Who discovered... No. Which separatist organization builds its battle droids in the Geonosian foundries? Again, which separatist organization builds its battle droids in the Geonosian foundries? This is fun. Star Wars trivia is fun. Think it over. I'll read it again. Which separatist organization builds its battle droids in the Geonosian foundries? We've got some guesses here. Colby says a techno-union. Cato says a trade federation. Chris says a techno-union. Blake says Hasbro. Blake, it's right. No, it's not Hasbro. Which separatist organization builds its battle droids in the Geonosian foundries? Mason says Trade Federation too. Eric says Techno-Union. I'll read it one more time and I'll give the answer. Which separatist organization built its battle droids in the Geonosian foundries? The answer is the Techno-Union. The Techno-Union did. I don't think I knew that either. What this really showed me that I've got a lot to learn. I think we all do, and that's part of the fun. All right, we'll do two more. We'll do two more. Okay. Which military hardware do the Gungans transport into battle atop pairs of giant four-legged Fambas? Which military hardware do the Gungans transport into battle atop pairs of giant four-legged Fambas? One more time. Which military hardware do the Gungans transport into battle atop pairs of giant four-legged Fambas? We've got Chris, who says shield generators. Tyler says ray shields. Any other guesses, anybody? Both good guesses. I'll read the question again. Colby says shields. Mason says shield generators. Daniel says water bombs. Eric says shields. Cato says shield protector thingies. Ross says catapults. The shields, Blake says, are all he can think of. The answer is shield generators. Nice job. Mason got it. Eric got it. Let's see. A few people put shields, but extra bonus points if you knew it was a shield generator. Nice job. Very nice. Okay, let's see. I promised you one more. So let's find a really good one that makes people think. That's the best kind, I think. All right. No. Conditions. Oh, interesting. Okay, this is a hard one. The answer is 42, says Chris. That's right. That's right. All right, now here it is. Shu Mai, the emissary from the Commerce Guild, says Count Dooku's plans could be construed as what? I'll read it again. Shu Mai, the emissary from the Commerce Guild, says Count Dooku's plans could be constructed as what? Shu Mai, the emissary from the Commerce Guild, says Count Dooku's plans could be constructed as what? Jim says treason. Ross says he's excited about this after doing my biz leadership and ethics homework. Well, good. You need a bit of a break. Hopefully we're not hurting your brain too much, buddy, but that's good. Daniel says treason. Jim says treason. Anybody else? Well, the answer is treason. I'll give you one more because I thought that one would be harder than it actually was. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. No, that's too easy too. Okay. Blake says he's with whatever Mason guesses. That's pretty good tonight. Good idea. Oh, here we go. This is a good last one. All right. And Mason, you just watched this movie, so maybe you'll know. Which beast in the execution arena turns immediately and kills its Geonosian picador? Which beast in the execution arena turns immediately and kills its Geonosian picador, or guard, I guess you could say. So this is obviously from the prequels. Which beast in the execution arena turns immediately and kills its Geonosian guard or picador? Eric, yeah, the last one was treason. Sorry, I kind of went over that quickly, but yes, the answer was treason. Nexu, says Tyler. Jim says Nexu. Daniel says the tiger thing. Eric says Nexu. Ross says the cat one. Mason says Nexu. Tiger looking thingy. The answer. So you've got three options. You got the Reek, the Nexu, and the Acklay. Those are the three options for this. But the answer is, in fact, the Nexu. Yes, the Nexu is the answer. Nice job, everybody. Star Wars trivia. If you like this, we'll do this more regularly. Tara says, hey, Dan, Scott and I say hi, never good at Star Wars trivia. Well, hello, Scott and Tara and family. It's great to see you guys. We miss you all. Looking forward to hanging out with you in a couple of weeks for sure. Very good. All right, so what's going on? So we've talked a little bit about this week in Coffee with Kenobi. Again, Clayton was on. We talked about visual effects and storytelling. We talked to the lead designer of Star Wars Ruggable Rugs. They are amazing. We've had a great time. This week is probably going to be the audio from my experience last 2 weekends ago at the Force Fest talking about Star Wars and literature. Is really, really fun. And yes, Eric claims it says it's the one with the teeth, the cat one with the teeth. That's right. That's the one that the Nexu is, for sure. I kind of get them all confused myself. Also, if you want to support Coffee with Kenobi, one of the best places you can go is our website, www.coffeewithkenobi.com. Every Thursday we release our latest podcast, naturally. So if you are a Star Wars fan and you're listening to the show, hopefully you get a chance to listen to our podcast as well. We've been going for 7 years strong. Things are going great. But also going great is our CWK Pour-Over. This is our exclusive weekly Patreon show. This week I turned the tables on Tom and Corey and prepared a list of questions that they had to get. Well, they had to be very reflective on. They were funny. They were thought-provoking. There may have been a few tears shed. It was a great time. A really good way to get to know myself, Tom Gross, the CWK newsman, and our Coffee with Kenobi co-creator and designer, Mr. Corey Clubb, who designed all the wonderful logos that you see every week on Coffee with Kenobi, especially the CWK Alliance one. I love that one. Speaking of the CWK Alliance, if you want to be a member, go to our Patreon page at www.patreon.com/coffeewithkenobi to become a member of the CWK Alliance. Speaking of that, September 10th is the end of our campaign to get one of these amazing CWK Alliance trucker hats. We, I think, have 10 more available, and then we've hit our goal. So that is really, really fun. Again, you've only got 3 days left to do it because September 10th is when it is the last day, for sure. Tyler says, listen to Corey get flustered of the questions was great. That was, I must confess, Tyler, one of my favorite moments about that as well. There's no doubt about that. All right, it's time for some Ask Dan Z. All right. So Colby says, don't you think? He says, hey LJ, don't you think everyone should join the CWK Alliance? I certainly wish that you would. It certainly helps Coffee with Kenobi a ton with everything we've got going on with the live stream, with running the show, all the great stuff, trying to prepare for the next celebration. So every little bit helps and makes a difference. And you get back with the incredible CWK program, which is such a fun podcast. I love sharing. Cato says, I'm getting caught up on the CWK episodes. Listen to the Mirror Rise of Skywalker interview today. That was a good hour of listening. Well, thank you. Ian Desher is one of my favorite people. And Cato, I'm not sure if you were here that night or what, but I got to have Ian on Facebook Live to talk about Shakespeare and Star Wars, and it was great fun. Tyler says, I love the discussion you guys had, very heartfelt and honest. I felt myself nodding and agreeing with a lot of what you guys said, as well as feeling I got to know all of you a bit more. I'm so glad. I am so glad, Tyler. That means a lot. That was the goal all along. That's what I hope Pour Over does. Helps you feel like, get to know us better and help to create this friendship that we all have, which is great. Blake wants to know, have you ever met Steve Sansweet from Rancho Obi-Wan, and so what's the story? Oh, yes. I have met Steve quite a bit. In fact, oh man, I know Steve really well now. It's great. I first met him. He was on the show for our first anniversary. We've had the show for 7 years, but he was on the first anniversary show, so go back and listen to that. And we had a great time, a great rapport with him. I've been to Rancho Obi-Wan 3 different times. Tom came with me the second time I went. And Steve's been on Coffee with Kenobi quite a bit over the years. It's pretty great now. I feel like I've been very blessed. A lot of cool things have happened, but now Steve Sansweet will text me once in a while, so I feel like that is the coolest thing ever. So yeah, Steve is great. He's a buddy of mine. He's a wonderful man. Blake, you would love going to Rancho Obi-Wan. Whenever the next time they have a Rancho Obi-Wan gala, which you have the ranch all to yourself, you need to go, dude. I'm sure I'll be there. We'll hang out. It's great fun once travel starts to get back to normal, whenever that is. Tyler says, if you were to cosplay as a Star Wars character, what would it be? I would definitely be a Stormtrooper, or I would like to wear the Obi-Wan Kenobi robes from Revenge of the Sith, or an X-Wing pilot like I got to wear for the Target commercial. Speaking of, last week was the 4-year anniversary of that Target Star Wars commercial I got to be a part of. One of the coolest things I ever got to do, and it's great. Over 5 million views on Facebook alone, so what an incredible blessing that is. Blake says, I've seen Steve in person a few times with fans. He's an amazing guy. He is. He's awesome. He's super laid back and really fun. Oh, look, someone is spamming us. How about that? Okay, well, if anyone's watching that, feel free to spam whoever that is. Interesting. All right, very good. So any other questions? Next week, again, we've got your top 5 favorite Star Wars helmets. So be sure to get that ready and plan that out, because that will be great fun to talk about that and come up with that. That's going to be very much a challenge, I would say, but it's going to be worth it. And of course, next week, Monday night at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time, is Facebook Live with me, Dan Z. Monday night at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. The category will be top 5 favorite Star Wars helmets. Blake says, what's the last Star Wars thing that you watched? It'll be The Empire Strikes Back. Well, I saw it at the drive-in for sure. Dark Side. Tara says, when is Kenobi coming out? We're really excited for it. Well, Tara, I am too. We haven't even filmed it yet. They've got the script pretty much finalized. They were going to film it before the quarantine started. But of course, when that happened, then things very much changed. So they haven't filmed the second of it. So it's going to be a while. I would guess it'll be a good year and a half at the earliest. But hopefully sooner. Greg says, love the stream. Have a good night, everybody. Jim says, have a great week, everyone. Thanks, Dan. My pleasure. My pleasure to chat with each and every one of you. So much fun. Blake says, CWK is the best Star Wars community. You all rock. You guys are pretty great yourselves. It's a pleasure to be a part of this wonderful community. Tyler says, thank you, Dan, and everyone. So long and good night. Thank you so much. Man, look at this is so good. Ross, enjoy the week. Everyone, thanks, Dan. Thank you, Ross. Thanks for always being here, brother. Chris says, thank you for another great show. Good night. Thank you, Chris. Thanks for being here. Terry, my pleasure, buddy. Good to have you. This is a fun connection. It is so fun, kiddos. I'm so happy you're a part of it. Mary says, thanks. Have a great week. Thank you, Mary, for being here. Eric, good to see you, buddy. Thanks for the knowledge and the fun. Take care until next time. Daniel, thank you. Colby, thank you. And thank you, everybody. Again, we'll see you next Monday night. Be sure to join us this week on Coffee with Kenobi's podcast on Thursday. Join us in the CWK Cafe, anywhere you can find Coffee with Kenobi. Check us out on Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest, all that good stuff. And remember, this is the podcast you're looking for. See you next time. Woo, woo, woo! Look at you, rock star! Oh.
Oh, Daddy, I thought the questions that you asked were from the book that you have.
Oh no, it's from Trivial Pursuit from up there. I have a bunch of questions. Were they hard?
Yes.
Some are like, you got more right than most people. And people were saying, you see that Blake said, I'm just going to guess whatever. I was like, yeah, man, I'm so proud of you.
I only got one wrong.
I know. Will you tell Mommy what details that you were doing? Mm-hmm. Did you brush your teeth yet?
No.
That's going to be right now.
No, I want you to get the book down.